Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back. My name is Joel, and this is A Stable Life. It's good to see you guys. Welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another video. Today is a little wet. In fact, it just finished raining. It's been pouring all day. I mean all day. When I got here, I fed really early this morning. Took care of the horses. I have a few prior arrangements that I had to take care of today that didn't involve the horse stable. So the video is starting a little bit into the day. And I got thinking, after our drive yesterday going through the woods, I haven't really checked how the fences are doing. And truth be told, we actually had a couple horses get out a little bit ago. I'll talk about that in a second. Also, isn't it crazy how dark it is in the stable when all the lights are off? So what we're gonna do is we're gonna mount up. I would hop on one of the horses, but the time it takes for me to get a horse dried off, saddled up to patrol the stables, though it would make for a great video, I just don't have that kind of time today. So we're gonna hop on the four-wheeler instead. Though, I definitely think that that is some great footage for a future video. So let's head on out and see what we got. I didn't have the rain gauge installed, so I don't know exactly how much rain that we got for this storm, but we have 2 days of dryness after today, followed by 3 days of rain. I think it's going to be the new weather cycle we're in for a little while. We have the two stalls opened up so the mares can get in out of the rain. Here's Honey. It looks like one of the girls was in here. And there's a run-in in the left run that's open for the mares to get access to and be able to get out of the rain. So all three of them have shelter should they choose to use it. Ready to go for a run? Come on. At a first look, the fences all look actually in pretty good working order. And this is all the stuff that we're able to see. But look out way over yonder. There's lots of stuff that we can't see. So we're gonna get on over, take a look and see how things are. All those trees down in the woods got me thinking, how's the fences? I think I'm gonna need four-wheel drive for this. I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna drive with the fence to our left. So as you guys can see, if you look to our left, we've got a fence line. And if we follow it, that should take us all the way around the pasture and back to the horse stable. Sounds like a good plan. What's up, Sriracha? Yo, what's up, brother? You cool with me fixing that strap? Horses could be a little scared if I just show up on the four-wheeler, so we'll see. Yeah, you're good, buddy. You're good. Let me just fix this for you. Oh, and one-handed? Could we do it? We could. Thank you, good looking. Handle. Fixing fence is a big part of the job, and this year we're planning on doing some fence fixing. Exactly how much, we'll see. Because ultimately we'd like to fix the fences like this, make them like this, because then they're set. But that does cost a little bit of money. Sometimes we have to do some creative thinking to get the fences the way we need. This fence section right here is along the property where we have our property and the neighbor's property right here. And the trees have been really good stewards working as fence posts. This fence was put in by my grandfather when my mom was a little girl. And if you could see here that the tree has completely grown over the fence. And this is back when we used barbed wire. The trees completely swallowed all of that up, which is really impressive. The nice thing about using trees as fence posts is you don't have to worry about setting any of the posts. The problem is that when the tree falls, usually it takes your fence with it. And this is how most of the fences were originally put in. So we've been having to go through and replace sections of fence where the trees have fallen. And that's basically what I want to check and see today. And that's right, you heard me, we had some horses out. My understanding that what had taken place was we had a section of fence that the deer made a path through, and the horses decided to explore it. Well, sometimes they get bored. It's my understanding that it was right along this area here. You can actually see we've got some change in fencing. but they had knocked this area down here and were venturing out into there, which is not our property. One of the clients caught it and sent us some pictures and some videos alerting us to it, and my mom and dad got here and fixed it. It looks like what we did was we doubled it up. You could see this is the old style of fence. This is that cattle panel fencing. It works good, but the only problem is it's big enough that if a horse really wanted to, they could stick their hoof through the cattle panel and then they could get caught, overreact, and get hurt. So we no longer build fences like this. This works as a great deterrent. Horses see this and say, nope, not gonna worry about that. And the bigger it is, the better it is. Hey, Scoots. Thankfully, it sounds like it wasn't the entire herd that got out. It was only 3 or 4 horses that were a little mischievous, and they had been sneaking out and then sneaking back in. So we never knew that they were out because they were always ready at the barn when it came time for feeding. That was the smart way to do it because it looked like they were doing it for maybe a week or so, but we caught it now and it's fixed. And I think my mom and dad did a great job. I'm not gonna go too much further, but as you guys can see right here, we actually have some ponds that are inside the horse pasture, and the property line runs right through the middle of that pond. So the fence runs right up to the pond and then stops because it's a pond. The only problem is that this pond sometimes is irrigated out of, and during droughts, the level drops. So much so that if the horses wanted to, they could walk around the fence and get out. It's my understanding that this year we're planning on getting that fixed, which means that we have to run the fence a little bit into the pond so that even when the pond gets low, the horses don't even try getting through it. Usually with horses, unless it's blatantly obvious, they're not going to try to get through it. All of that gets thrown out the window when they're scared. When you have a horse that's scared, they'll run through anything if they're scared enough. So we never want them to be scared. We want them to feel comfortable and happy. That's how we're able to keep the horses inside our pastures. We're going to check on over the other side here. You can see that's those poles there. That's where the line is for the property. And then the fence starts right on the other side of this pond and runs straight up. Speaking of, it looks like the pond's flowing pretty good. All right. Now, I'm just gonna go over here and check this out. This is a section that the horses don't explore at all. It's really steep. I could mow this and then plant grass on this, but frankly, there's so many other sections I'd rather work on that the horses will more readily use than this. And some parts of the pasture, it's actually good that we leave it like this with brush because it discourages the horses from pushing on the fences. We see some trails here. Most of these trails are created by deer, and deer really are our biggest problem because horses follow those trails. Now this section of fence we replaced a little bit ago because the whole thing was down. I wouldn't be able to walk in here during the summer. Everything that you see is briars. The fence runs right down and across and then runs straight up this way. Looks like it's a little down here, but high enough that the horses won't try to get out of it. And I don't see any hoof tracks. I see deer tracks, no hoof tracks. Okay, all right. And this is really the only path in here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna work my way through these briars and I'll see you guys back over at the four-wheeler. This takes us to the top here where we've got a gate of entry and our second cutting round bales are right on the other side. Fence is looking good so far, guys. Make our way over here, and curiously enough, the fence actually continues this way for a while. And I see a nice good path beaten in here, so let's follow it and see where that goes. Doo-doo, 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 doo-doo. Okay, so deer tracks. No horses. This kind of stuff right here stops them. Now I can run over this with a rotary chopper and clean this whole area out, this whole mess of stuff, but the only problem with doing that is, like I said, these are sections of fence that are on the weaker side of things. And because of that, these briars act as a natural barrier, keeping the horses inside. Looks like this section of fence is completely down, but we've got a gate panel up and a bunch of briar bushes acting as a fence, which is my understanding. A lot of you guys across the pond, so to speak, that's how you have fences, is those briars and what are the bushes that you guys use along the roads and stuff like that to keep your livestock and animals in. I think you guys are onto something. That's pretty smart. I'm not seeing any signs of horse manure. Oh, here we go. Man, this fence is old. We've got a trail leading right out through, but horses can't get through that. This is all deer. Coming right through the fence line here and out. Very pretty though. You got the horse stable right over there. You've got the meadow right in front of us. And this is the time to run over this stuff with the rotary chopper. You don't have all the stuff up. You can clearly see what you're mowing. You can see the rocks. You could see anything that's going to be an obstacle in front of you. And we can just weave our way through here. Yeah, we're still inside the horse pasture. I know, kind of crazy to believe it, but we are. See, right there's the fence. This section of fence is actually looking pretty good. Ow, 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 ow. Ow, that hurt. I'm not gonna venture through that. The horses clearly don't. No reason for me to. Not like there's much pasture to be gained over here anyway. It looks like I've reached the final end point here for the horses. This whole area here is kind of beaten down, but from the rest of it, it's pretty thick. So that's that. The fence continues forward. I'm gonna try to meet it at the bottom of the hill on the next road that's coming down and in. It's a little swampy down there though, so hopefully we don't get stuck. Still is very pretty here. Leia found a groundhog hole? So there used to be a path that ran that way. That path has since dissolved, I'm gonna say. So you can see though, there's a lot of trees that have fallen down over top of it. This is a section of pasture that I would like to open up, but it's a little bit behind the list of the other sections that I'm actively working on. But that being said, I still want to check out the fence lines. Whew. Looks a little deep. Oh. Made it. Wow, those pickers are nasty. Now this is a problem. Looks good up there, not good here. For this I'll need to be fixed. Guess just need to kind of pick this whole section up and move it up. No big deal. Leia, I'm over here. See Leia? She's right over there. I remember my mom and I repairing all this. There we go. That looks better. Look at these. Oh man, I hate these things. These things are the reason why it's so dangerous back here. Look at the spikes on these things. That'll go right through your tires. Yeah, what's up, princess? You're good. That's why I've thought about renting a skid steer loader with the tracks and a rotary chopper attachment on the front of it and coming back here and clearing all this out. But I'm not gonna do that until I'm ready, because I'd like to come in here and make sure that this whole area is seeded for grass. I mean, it's beautiful. Just look at this. Just gorgeous. We've got a nice stream running through the area, a beautiful spring-fed meadow. Wow. Looks like this is an area where the animals cross. I figured the fence took a hit here. See what we can do about this. Over here, right? Well, that's better. Let's head on over to that meadow. Scratch that. Can't reach the meadow. The pickers are a little intense. I tried getting through that and it's really boogering up my legs. And if I'm not getting through it, the horse isn't gonna go through that either. Because remember, the horses have food. The only reason they'd be out here is when they're exploring, and they're also herd animals, so they're only going to be out here if the whole herd's out here, and the whole herd won't be out here so long as they have food. Which is why I always make sure they got food. That being said, we got to make sure our pastures are secure, and we've got a lot of natural fence barriers going on here, which is a good thing. And I haven't seen any trees down. I can't reach that, but I can see that the fence is good. So we're just going to chase that, and then that looks way too thick to the top on the other side. Ow! Why is nature so mean? When I was a little boy, this stream, it has lots of crawfish all up and down it. And I was playing in this stream and I saw crawfish, but I didn't know that that was crawfish. And I thought they were baby lobster. And I was so excited because I was like, Mom, I found lobster. And she was like, oh, did you? And I was all excited because I thought we could be a lobster business because I found lobster in our horse's pasture. Turns out it was just crawfish. Boy, it's a big difference when you get to something that I mow, isn't it? Big difference. Okay, so this is where the fence pops out on the other side. And we follow this up. This section of fence is pretty old. As you can see, we've got lots of band-aids on it, but it's good. It'll hold the horses out from getting out. But it is due for replacement. So I think that's on our list of things that we're replacing this year. This past summer, 2023 summer, was pretty hard on that fence. The bigger horses were coming over and leaning their heads down on it and breaking the top boards off. There's no electric out here because it would have to go through miles of brush before it finally gets here, and let me tell you, it's wouldn't be strong. I could put a solar fencer right there on the top there and then run like a little wire there. I guess that's true, I could do that. I could put a solar fencer right there. And then as far as this is concerned, we've got a lot of nice natural barriers here. This is an old fence row. Yeah, horses aren't coming through here, that's for sure. So I wanted to check it because there was a path that led out this way, but I think we're good. So for all intents and purposes, this is gonna be our fence here. Yep, all good. Honestly guys, so far so good. Things are actually looking pretty nice. That's awesome. Now this is where we were clearing out this past year. You saw me and Gavin dropping all the dead trees. Looks like the neighbor came in here and actually grabbed a lot of them. I've never seen this so open in here. Open enough that you really should come back here with the rotary chopper and capitalize on this, because this is more open than I ever remember seeing this. Ground's way too wet right now, but Gavin and I could come back here and kind of cut up these dead trees and get rid of them, and I can use the rotary chopper to kind of just mow over all this brush. It's so thick in here that you can hardly see what you're mowing on, and right now it's thin enough that you can actually get a good idea of what you're looking at. Wow, I haven't seen this thin in a long time. That's kind of crazy. Okay, this section of fence looks good. Seeing down trees, but none of them have been down from recent storms. So things are actually looking really good as far as fence is concerned. And I'm glad I'm doing this scout run because I'm seeing lots of potential. I just need the ground to dry out. This hill has been something I've been trying to tame for a long time. That would definitely be something crazy if we could finally tame it. And then get it seeded in grass. Oh, that'd be awesome. Then this to my left is gonna be the next crazy thing to try to tame. Oh my word, that's gonna be insane. Absolutely insane. This was what we got cleared out a lot this past year. Look at the difference, it looks so good. In case you're curious, the trees we leave, they act as a good anchor to keep the soil where we want, because we don't want any soil erosion. What we're doing is just eliminating all the briars. There's grass growing down here. Nope, sunk right in, ain't going in that. Well anyways, what I wanted to tell you guys was that this is the next section of fence, and this is actually the border with the cows. This is the cow fence pasture. Cow fence. This is the cow fence and horse fence border, running right on over to that way. This actually looks pretty good. This does have electricity on it. And right here's our border. Yeah. Honestly, guys, I think that's gonna be a wrap with the fence. Kind of crazy to think about it, but there was a couple sections of fence that were down, but I had to run through a lot of brush to get to it, and the horses haven't been back to that in a long time. So that's now fixed, but that's awesome. I mean, that's better than what I expected I'd find, that's for sure. And I hope you guys enjoyed the tour and gave you a nice idea of just how vast the horse pasture really is and how much land they have to explore. It really is cool. All right, well, it's time to feed some horses. I hope you guys enjoyed a little bit of a switch, change of pace, but let's get those horses fed. Sound good, Scoots? All right. Okay guys, we're gonna pick things up. Everything's pretty much done when it comes to having the horses in the barn. I gotta take that round bale right there over into the middle field, and then we have a couple care items to do with the horses. One of the clients asked me to measure one of the hooves of their horses, and another client asked me to check and see how her horse is doing. With the mud, it's understandable. Okay. You guys might be seeing this and thinking, Joel, there's way too much hay in here for you to be feeding a round bale. Normally I'd agree with you, but there's not enough here to last till Tuesday. So I'm gonna put in a little baby bale. It's a little baby bale. Most importantly though, I've got hay everywhere, which means that the mares and the geldings won't need to fight over who's getting what. And that's what we want. Oh, she's hung on. Wasn't expecting her to hang on. Easy, girl. Easy. Well, it's moments like this that I am very happy that we have the structures that we do. Can sit down there and eat hay out of the rain. And it is just absolutely pouring outside, guys. My word. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you appreciated the drive around the pastures and taking a look at just how diverse that pasture is, and gives you an idea for some of the work that we're looking forward to this upcoming summer. If you haven't, don't forget to hit that like button and make sure that you're subscribed. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.